Hi everyone, so very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening for all those who are watching this video. This is Sinu Shivkumar from Educate to Trade. So, unfortunately, today I'm working from home because of this tube strike which we have, and going stream live on the you know home. So we don't have all the other setups. We somehow managed to stream through the live stream, and let's see if you are able to see all the videos, and if it is audible, please do let me know in the comment section so that I can proceed it further. Sorry guys, is it audible now? Not getting any response. Let's see if it is working. Let me check with. Yeah, so I think it's working. Let's go back and check what is the plan for the people, and we will also revisit what we have done for. Yes, it is working. So what we have done for the plan in the morning. So first and foremost thing, if I go through dollar index narration. So what is the reason which we have said long on dollar? And from yesterday, if you see, we have posted this particular view on our community, wherein let me take you through the 4 hours and then we can deep dive into that. So this is the POI which I was waiting for so long. When I say so long, it was from last 15th August from onwards. We were waiting for a dollar index strengthening narrative, taking out all these liquidity and trying to push towards downside and then entering from here. So this is the zone which I was waiting, and market have fortunately pushed towards upside by bringing back the NFP correction numbers from 2009. This is the highest update and correction with respect to NFP numbers, right? So that has led the entire structure to shift, and even looking at cable on the higher time frame, it has created a massive dump prior to that. And then when you closely watch about the technical analysis on gold, BTC, USD, JPY, and GBP USD, which is cable, I can take you through the lower time frame. What has happened? After the news event exactly at 3 o'clock, I believe, from yesterday, it has dumped. So this was the move happened at 3, and the data release, which was recorrected, and it has dumped, wherein New York AM and the New York PM both got sell off. But at the same time, I was watching for the Asia session and the London session. Both are trying to regain the momentum. If the data comes strong for USD, which is like expected is zero point 0.3, and if we get similar with respect to last data which has happened on August 14th, the forecast was zero point 0.2 and actual was zero point 0.9, and that will lead a massive rally for USD pairs and dollar strengthening. The first target which I'm looking for 98, followed by if I get you know a good target beyond 98, taking out the week high, which is 99.802, I won't be even surprised. Even the price has to come back and mitigate this target as well. So the long term or positional target for me, considering dollar index, would be somewhere close to 102.134 levels. This is the level which I'll be looking for dollar index. And if you go back and check the dollar baskets, so look at this particular view on a weekly time frame. This is what I was keep posting on our community based on these levels. If I get a an entry and even a slight push towards downside and then pushing from there, because we have got a massive consolidation followed by a manipulation, market have to come back and mitigate this level and then dumping it from here. Even if I'm wrong on this particular view, I'll be changing my bias below 12,418 levels on the dollar index. If the market is distributing towards downside, still we have a target of 11,576. But until then, there is a small risk which is with respect to this imbalance on a weekly time frame. Similar play which I'm expecting on the same imbalance on the weekly time frame, which is pushed upside. Sorry, this is USD JPY. Yeah, this order block and the POI with respect to this structure, internal structure. If this POI is acting very good, then we could see a massive rally. So this is the narrative overall with respect to USD pairs. So when the US strengthens, we could also see a massive sell-off in all the other currencies, which is Euro USD, GBP USD, USD JPY pushing towards upside. Similar target which we can see on USD JPY. On the last Friday, with respect to having an internal session with the team, even we had a look on AUD USD, which was, let me just remove this, which is moving in a right direction, I would say, with respect to you know uh, the entry. So last Friday, when we were taking the sessions, explained the strong low points and the higher highs meeting, and we could expect a great break of structure and then re-enter this level 0.65605 levels and targeting towards upside, which is even a manipulation move. If you look at this particular pair, Australian dollar versus US dollars, and this is actually a manipulation move after the consolidation, because it has taken out the lower side and I'm expecting towards upside to be manipulated before the distribution phase begins. So these are all the narratives which we have for the quarter on quarter, which is for the Q2, uh, which is ending by this month. But what happens if we are playing on USD JPY, which is the similar one? So USD JPY has one more update with respect to this push, and that is being on a weekly time frame. We can see that clearly we have taken out the break of structure, we have created a new high, and the low, even if you are a trend line trader, you could you know draw a simple trend line which is connecting towards these two highs, and either breakout or fake out should happen within this particular range, which is an imbalance, sell side imbalance. Now even if the market pushes upside, then we can call this as a balanced price range, wherein either breakout or a fake out could occur. So this is a really good positional bias with respect to dollar strengthening narrative as well. And these are all things which is completely on a technical factors, rather than anticipating the price moves in our direction with respect to fundamentals as well. But I'm not sure how this works out. Yeah, I think there are two positions which sold the highest. We go to any questions, any doubts, let me. Now holders playing out. We have seen a good opportunity to short and then keeping the stop loss right above this particular zone. So for people who were looking for, going short at the moment, they might have. There is some network issue, guys. Give me a sec. Yeah. So for people who missed this NDA move because this was so quick and NYAM got, you know, pushed harder, and we got even a sell side trap here and then pushed back all the way to balance this range. And then after the lunch, we have seen even, multiple push. But with on that being said, market haven't taken out this order block, which is still pending, which is 3618 levels. And I'm anticipating the price, what I've seen with respect to charts, if we have a trend line liquidity, which is resting below these zones, then this trend line liquidity even could have been taken out, which is, on this moves some, price points, if you observe, which is 3606 is the exact point. On precise note, I'm expecting the dump could be, if it is happening. So I'm not sure whether it is going to happen or not. This is just a probability where, keeping our risk limited with respect to, having this view. But if we are wrong, and people who are ready to accept if we are wrong, then, can try out with this trade, because I'm in this particular trade, but I'm not sure how the market unfolds after this news event. Why I'm saying this, because if you go back and check with respect to the order flows, let's discuss. So this is the zone which we have a massive, imbalances which is lying, which is around on the futures 3620 levels. So at least this is the zone about 3606. At least of today's news might take out this liquidity, which is Asia low, and at least coming back to the discount zone from the premium. Right now we are at the premium, and even a breakout which has happened from this particular area from the London, and then it got consolidated. I think this is a stop run which has happened similar to, yesterday's stop run. After these both consolidation, there was a stop run, and then, market dumped all the players, unwinded their long positions. And even those who are looking at entering short, they can try with this as a stop loss on futures, which is 3693. When the market opened, we have posted in our community stating that, okay, today we might see 3000 653, that's the level which I was waiting. And on a 1 hour time frame, let's see if 53 was sustained. Okay, first candle, second candle, and the third candle. If this 1 hour sustains above 53, then that itself invalidate this view. So which is around 12 more minutes we have. Within 12 more minutes, if the market is able to push and sustain above 3653, then I'll be really cautious on this particular view, because market might push, because we are on a higher time frame structures. These are all the weak highs we have. Why this is showing us a weak high? Because after the change of characters, even we didn't had a close below this level, but later on taking out this liquidity was played out. And even on a 4 hour time frame, we can see that this imbalance which is tapped into. So if you see on a longer time frame, counter to this particular view, people who are looking for the longs, you can see that clearly on a 4 hours, it came back and tapped into that level and pushed upside. So when you're trading against the trend, because this is a counter trend trade, you should be always aware that if that hits your stop loss, then it is best way to accept the loss and keep moving forward. Let me ask if I have any questions, because I won't be able to see anything over here. Let me check. My mic is going crazy. Okay, give me a second, guys. It's better now, because my. Let me go back to BTC. Okay, on a BTC, if you are trading with respect to trend lines, you will be able to see that. Let me remove all these trend lines so it will be much more neat and clean in the beginning. So the earlier push which has happened on the breakout towards upside, this is the trend line which we had, and this breakout and the retest was happened around 107 900 levels. This is the retest zone, right? 109 200, 109 200 was this breakout which has happened. Let me see if I have already made that. Yeah, this is the area which I'm talking about, and that moved all the way upside to 122. After this consolidation, then the price got manipulated towards upside. Here we were waiting for the 126, but that didn't happen. But all of a sudden, the price structure got changed, and then we went on short on this particular trade, and even we were able to capture the whole range within this trade. And even after this breakout, we captured this particular move. But whenever you are trading with respect to trend lines, when you have a steep trend line, it is obvious to happen that there is a consolidation happening after the steep trend line. So we had a steep trend line over the weekend, and then market consolidated, and then market tried to tap and break. So the first break was this particular zone, which is happened on 9th of September. Sorry, not 9th of September. Yeah, yesterday the tap in break happened. Market was trying to push towards upside. Then the massive sell-off has happened at 3 o'clock itself. Let's see. Yeah. So if you closely watch the sell-off which has happened, it's fine. Okay. So this is the sell-off which has happened on BTC from the you know New York AM session. Post lunch, it got consolidated, and from that sell-off itself, Asia got even consolidated. Today morning, when I was looking at the charts, posted an update. If the market is able to sustain this particular level On the community, you might have seen the post which we have done. Let me see what is the level which we have posted today morning. Yeah, on a BTC, 11900. So if the market is able to, sustain on London, this could be a really, really good push. So before London opening, this is the place somewhere where I have, written my morning notes. And if the market was pushing towards upside, then I was expecting this entire order block to be mitigated. Now we are inside a 50 percentage range of this entire structure. If you take your fib and then measure this entire range which has happened after London, we are slightly, yeah, the London session, we are exactly at a 50 percentage. I was checking with respect to the London session, and if the market breaks this level on the new 7, which is 112 127, then we could see a massive sell off which is strengthening the you know strengthening the US dollar and BTC and gold. If you check the risk indicators at the moment, both are at a verge of 50 percentage, or plus or minus. More people are considering at a risk on risk of, most people are staying away at the moment, I believe. And then people are waiting for the PPI data, because this leads to the CPI, as well as this leads to the rate cut decision which is going to happen soon. So if you see the sentiment on AUD JPY, risk on is happening. BTC USD yet to decide. Copper, JPN, Nasdaq, risk on, because most of the people are betting on the risk on as well. Hedging with respect to USD pairs, you can see that Nasdaq and USD, even the VIX is too high. Make sure that you guys are keeping your levels not tight enough, because you might get filled with the stop. It is worth waiting for the NY session to open. Even after the news hours, we do have 1 hour time frame in order to look for a good opportunity. So I'm waiting for this particular level. Let me mark this level on my charts. Look at that sell off which has happened. We were saying that the price should not close above 3653, but we have another 4 more minutes. Let's see if the price is able to close it below this level, which is even 50. If the price is able to close this level on a 15 minutes candles, then this particular candle also seems to be a bearish one. I won't be surprised if the next candle push towards upside. If this is bearish, then the next candle within this imbalance and the order block which has caused this entire move, we might even get tapped into this particular level, a pinpoint level at 3653. Those who are waiting, and those who do not want to seek risk, I would suggest it is better to go short or long. Looking at the volume profile, the highest volume traders are now at here. Even people are trying to push more volume towards upside. Anything above before the new 7, which is 3689 now, if it is staying below 3684, then it would be a massive sell off, in my opinion. Let's see if the market, one of our senior traders who have posted in our community saying that technicals are not going to work, I respect his work. I respect his the way he explains things, because he have been trading the market for long. Considering the fact, if the market is not playing out with respect to my expectations, then I'm going to stay away from the market for the time being, and we'll see after 2:30. So that's it from my end. If you have any questions, any clarifications, feel free to join in, tune in with the community. and then we can connect it from there. I'm just trying to close the session as soon as possible because you know this is not as great as what we do live on our trading floor. We can hear the noise, and we can hear the news events on time, but unfortunately we don't have that. So I might have to check with respect to that. If time permits, if you guys really want to take trade live, we can also stay back. So whatever you guys say, we'll proceed it further. Any questions, any doubts, any clarifications, feel free to discuss. I'm just looking for an opportunity with respect to crude. So gold, short trades, I'm in, keeping that risk limit. One more thing, even the stop run happens if I get another opportunity to enter this trade. Let's say if this gets stopped out, and even if I get an opportunity for entering this trade with respect to the same risk, I'll try re-entering, risking $7 for a $42, which is almost we have a 1:7 RR trade. And we have seen that. So the first level which I'll be looking for, target would be this particular zone, which is 3642 on futures, and the next zone is 3621. So this could play out, if not today, this could play out in coming days, because this is what we have discussed live on couple of days back with respect to the NFP push, which has happened on a breakout structure. So let me, yeah, for this particular breakout, we were discussing the 22nd August. So the 1st August NFP news, which has happened on Friday, and then market have retapped into that level, which is 3312 to 3323 zone later, and then the actual push has happened. So how do you take trades? You mean like how do I take my entries? Okay, what strategy do you use? So if you just check for the strategies, then I use a combination of ICT and SMC, but I'll just use a basic simple thumb rule as my liquidity and imbalances, where the market is trying to target the next zone with respect to higher time frame liquidity or imbalances. So as we discussed, we have seen that on a higher time frame levels, this is the zone which market has tapped, and so these are the two zones we have. What I've seen with respect to these you know strong zones within a range, market might tend to continue consolidate, playing out, taking out the buy sellers from here and moving upside and coming back to this range, and then taking out sellers from this zone, and then inviting more sellers and then trapping them as well. So This would be ideal for those who are trading with options. Option sellers might get, most uh, advantage with respect to this. Last but not least, the bank nifty charts. We were looking for this great shot from, 24th July, and that target got achieved on September 2nd. So when you look for the longer time frame, I do uh, highly emphasize people looking on the notes to look for a 3 months down the line, because that is going to give you the directional for this particular trade. Even if you are not able to capture from top to bottom 100%, a 50% itself would have made, much more better returns with respect to trading. So answering your question, how do I trade? I look for liquidity and imbalance, and then I look for the structural shifts. When the long term trend is fading with respect to short term, I try to enter for the short term trend, and then try to capture the whole trend. If this short term trend, which is the bearish one, if it is sustaining, we could see that a massive long term trend can emerge from here. So that's the whole point. The simple imbalance within the range and the simple liquidities within the range is what I look for trade. Any other questions? I think we have got 25 more minutes. So thank you so much, guys, for joining today's live, and make sure you do your own analysis before proceeding further with any of these trades, and wish you nothing less than success ahead. Let's see how the news data plays out. I'll post the updates on our internal communities. If any good trades are playing out, let's see how the market unfolds today, right? So that's that's it from my end, guys. Thank you so much for joining in the live. Wish you nothing less than success ahead. See you around.